Um, Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
Whatever, you okay here?
Yeah. Just drop me off anywhere. Thank you.
Everything is okay?
Everything is fine. However, just in future, what you said to me was quite offensive.
Hey beautiful people, how you're doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing great. So today's video is a video of a Vietnamese woman, if I'm not mistaken, who was on a cab, and at the point where she started recording the video, she was telling the cabman that she wants to drop off here and pointed out that the cabman was being racist because the cabman was asking her what part of Asian is she from and that she doesn't look like them. This video has struck a lot of conversation, but I need you guys to see this video, then we'll come back and talk.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
Whatever, you okay here?
Yeah. Just drop me off anywhere. Thank you.
Everything is okay?
Everything is fine. However, just in future, what you said to me was quite offensive about how you were trying to guess where I'm from because you think we all look the same, and then you said, oh, I couldn't tell like where you were from, because you look a little bit different. That's very racist.
But I didn't guess the way you could be. I said maybe you look a little bit different to them. Sorry, please don't get me wrong. My English is not as a perfect.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is Chinese. And then I love the Asian people because they're so polite, so kind.
Right.
We do as a like, you know, she like, we do as a like, you know, like a joke. See, I said this, my Buddha is her name. And then this is my girlfriend. Please don't get me wrong. I love the Asian people. They're so polite. They're so kind.
So there's
Please
a difference.
don't get me wrong.
No. There's a difference between you loving Asian people, and there's a difference between you saying that we all look the same, and that you were trying to guess where I'm from because I look different to them. To them, that's the key word.
So sorry, madam. Is it exactly because of I don't have a perfect English?
No. It's fine, and like I
really
understand
sorry.
where you're coming from, but.
Yeah.
At this moment, I don't feel comfortable in this car. I'm going to get another one.
I'm really, madam, please forgive me. I really don't mean it about that. Madam,
okay.
if something is wrong, this company will fire me. And I have a daughter. I swear to God, I don't mean this.
Yeah.
Please forgive me. I swear to God, I don't mean of this.
Yeah, I know.
Really
like
sorry.
I appreciate that you don't mean it from a bad place, and I'm not gonna say anything to the company.
Yeah,
I just want you.
I do wrong now.
No.
I don't know what to do, madam.
I'm telling you, I'm not gonna say anything to the company because I understand that you're saying it's a barrier of language.
Yeah.
I get that, but I'm just saying to you, in future, just don't say things like that because it's very offensive to us.
I swear to God, this don't meaning of this.
It's fine. It's fine.
Madam,
I've got a meeting to go to.
You get out because of me?
Yes, because I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable to be here.
Please forgive
You have to respect my wishes. I don't feel
respect it.
comfortable. I'm gonna book an Uber, and
Please forgive me, madam.
it's alright. Don't worry.
Really sorry.
Thank you. I'm actually fucking raging.
Let me know your thought about that video first and down in the comment section. Go ahead and share your thought down. So clearly you can hear that the taxi driver or the cabman has a language barrier issue, and this man sounds very African, sounds very West African-ish. So either Nigeria, Ghana, that's how he sounds. But anyway, that aside, so this video has gotten a lot of people's reaction. I need you guys to hear other people's thoughts. Then I'll come back and let you guys know what I think about this.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
This video is so sad because clearly the driver is an immigrant because you can hear his accent. So there's the language barrier, and then I think she's trying so hard to paint him as a racist, which he sounds like he's like a non-white immigrant. So we don't have the institution of racism. He's an immigrant. He's not from this country, blah, 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 blah. And like the way that she's like, oh, he's trying to guilt treat me, but it's ignorance. There's a language barrier. Like you would think, seeing that she's a person of color and Vietnamese, like what if your parents couldn't articulate their thoughts clearly? And she's trying to paint this guy as a racist just because he just asked the ignorant question. Yes, but racist? Like, I'm sorry, girl, you doing too much. Like, and he's probably gonna lose his freaking job because she posted this video. Like, oh my god, what a weirdo.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
After watching them first few seconds of her like quivering and that, you're probably thinking, as he murdered her parents and called her every racial under the sun. It's actually a foreign taxi driver with broken English trying to figure out where she's from, because he's saying his wife's Chinese and that Asian people look similar, and he couldn't figure it out. And then he goes on to say that Asian people are like the most polite people he's ever met and that he loves them. And she's sat there like a fucking snowflake acting like she's been racially abused. Mate, saying Asian people look the same or similar isn't racist, it's science. They're from the same part of the world. Obviously they look similar, the same way Bangladeshis, Pakistanis and Indians look really similar. They're from the same part of the world. That isn't racist. And just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. And if you are offended, get the fuck out the car. That's not his problem. Don't sit there and record him making out like he's the next fucking Hitler, because he was actually like the nicest person you could have got. Because if that was me, I would have left you on the fucking motorway. And my advice to people like you would normally be like, you need to get out the house more. But if you act like that when you get out, do us all a favour and stay inside and never leave again.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
I watched the full video and this is what I gathered. You could tell that the driver was clearly distraught and sincerely apologetic within his response about how you were offended by what he said. And I feel like that's the point of what I want to reiterate in this video. You were offended, but that does not give you the right to then antagonize and be patronizing to try and vilify your driver and expect people online to agree with what you did. Like, Asia is such a massive continent, and yeah, to an extent it is hard sometimes to distinguish people from different features, which part of Asia they come from. So is the African continent, so is the European continent, etc. And it does not have to relate to racism. Because you could tell this man English was not his first language, and you can see and you can hear if you watch the full video how he was struggling to even communicate with you. Let's do better.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
Why were you okay here?
Yeah. Just drop me off anywhere. Thank you.
Everything is okay?
Everything is fine. However, just in future, what you said to me.
I haven't been this angry about a video in a really long time, and I waited all day to get home just so I could make this. And if you haven't already seen the video, click on the comment and it'll take you to a screen recording of the entire thing, because the original creator deleted it, as they always do. To save you some time, the woman in that video was in a taxi or Uber, and she basically asked the driver to be let off early, and the driver asked her why, and she proceeded to give a monologue of why she felt something he said was racist. Which under normal circumstances, you'd almost immediately side with her, which I was about to do until I heard the rest of the conversation. Pretty quickly, you start to realize that the person she's speaking with has a strong language barrier and is also very likely to be an immigrant.
Please don't get me wrong, my English is not as a perfect.
Yeah.
And that doesn't excuse racism, but you can tell by the comments that that was not this person's intention. But what was really starting to get me angry was seeing how she was reacting as this man was talking. Because fine, even if he didn't have bad intentions with his comments, you're allowed to feel how you want to feel. That is until he starts apologizing.
Because of the, I don't have a perfect English.
No, it's fine. And like, I understand where you're coming from, but at this moment, I don't feel comfortable in this car. I'm going to get another one.
I'm really, Madam, please forgive me. I really don't mean it about that. Madam,
okay.
If something is wrong.
And not only was he apologizing profusely, he was damn near pleading for his life.
This company will fire me. And I have a daughter. I swear to God, I don't mean this.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
You can tell this job meant everything for him, and that he's trying to provide for himself or his family, and all you cared about was this damn TikTok video. And if you pay close attention to her in that video, you can see that this is a classic case of somebody who's only listening to respond.
It's fine. It's fine.
Madam,
I've got a meeting to go to.
You get out because of me?
She did not care about a single word that came out of that man's mouth. It's almost as if she's been planning and been wanting to make a video like this. And the reason I'm taking this so personal is because as an Asian with immigrant parents, that could have been any one of our parents that you threatened to destroy the livelihood of. This is why you shouldn't be able to hide. This is why you shouldn't be able to delete comments. This is why you shouldn't be able to make fake apologies where you position yourself as the victim. This is why you shouldn't be able to protect your business. The last thing I'm going to say is there are so many of us that are Asian that deal with real racism every single day, but shit like this is what's going to make us lose credibility. Do better.
Excuse me.
I am going to say I do agree that she massively overreacted, but I don't think we should be demonizing her for that, because at the end of the day, you have to understand with even the things that went on in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023 with people not only fetishizing Asians, bullying them, all that really could have made her uncomfortable. That would be, I'm a black woman, like somebody saying, oh yeah, let me guess, are you from Africa? I love black women, they're so luscious, let me guess where you're from, Congo, Jamaica, things like that. I probably would have side-eyed him and gotten out of the car too. Again, I do believe that she overreacted, but at the same time, she was just like, I'm not going to tell anyone, I just want to get out of the car. I don't think people should be demonized for feeling uncomfortable. Even if I do think that they've overreacted, there are instances where even women of color have been kidnapped or trafficked through stuff like Uber or taxi drivers. I do think that the language barrier did almost set them up for failure, because it's like he could have just been saying, well, oh, Asian people I've interacted with in the past or I have driven for were super nice and super respectful. But as a immigrant, it could be sometimes hard for me to tell them apart. I, again, don't think he meant any malicious intent, but I don't believe that people, especially women of color, should be demonized for feeling uncomfortable and just wanting to be let out of the car. She didn't cuss at him. She wasn't malicious. All she was like, well, just let me out of the car. I feel offended. It's not your job to tell somebody whether they should feel offended or not. You don't know what could have led up to that. You don't know what past experiences could lead her to thinking that somebody saying all Asians look the same and all Asians are so docile and polite could have led her to believe that he was being malicious. I feel like it's a lose-lose situation as well. And I genuinely hope nothing happened to the taxi driver and he got to keep his job. But at the same time, I don't think that women should be demonized for feeling uncomfortable and wanting to get out of a car. Now, if she hit him, she came at him any sort of way, then I get it. Or she was screaming at him. But no, all she said was, I'm offended. I don't feel comfortable anymore. Possibly even I don't feel safe. I would like to get out. Even when he was apologizing as well, it's like, okay, I hear you, I understand, I won't say anything to the company, I don't want you to lose your job, I just feel uncomfortable. You genuinely have to be put in a situation like that to understand how sometimes even scary it can be. She for sure overreacted, but that could have just been something she realized later. Y'all will demonize anyone these days if you hear a sob story about it. Y'all have truly never seen a man throw a tantrum or try and whine and sob to say he didn't mean what he did? Not saying.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me?
I don't know if you guys have watched that video, but I've seen the full video, and initially when I watched the video, before I saw all the all the comments and everything else, which have been turned off, I was literally like, my eyes were watering because I felt so sad for the man. I just kept thinking, oh, this is really out of order, But I've realised that social media has made people so heartless. Like, everyone is looking for a way to go viral, to become famous or whatever it is. And obviously, for you to literally go to the extent of doing that just so you can actually go viral and get people hating on somebody so much, all in the name of likes, views, I don't know what the world has turned into, because one thing we do as humans is we do offend people. And I'm not saying it's okay to offend people, because everyone has, what they can and can't tolerate. But one thing that we have to do better for as humans is if somebody offends you and you tell them that they've offended you, and then they go out of their way to apologize, literally, genuinely apologize, and, out of their heart, literally almost begging you to forgive them, and even beg you to the extent to not even, to try and tell the company so that they don't get fired. You, in the video, you were like, oh yeah, I'm not going to go and tell the company. But you then went forward to then post the video on social media. Who do you think is going to see the video? Do you not think the company is going to see the video? Do you not think it's going to go viral? Do you not think the guy's face might be shown? Do you not think you might be contacted? But like, I just think whatever your aim was for posting that video, I'm so glad it backfired, because that poor guy even told you, I have a daughter and, I need this job and I didn't mean to offend you. He was even struggling to speak English. He was even struggling to speak the English. And you damn well just took advantage of that and decided to really intimidate this guy and make him just like really crap himself, because that was just inhumane. That was inhumane, because there is no way that you didn't feel that that apology was genuine. There's no way. After that apology, you still went ahead and posted that video, edited that video, put your voiceovers over it with the captions so people can read it, put, all of these fancy things and edited it to post on social media. All for what? All for what? For clout? Yeah, let's do better. We're human beings. If someone apologizes to you and you know it's real, please, let's do better. You don't have to forgive them, but let's do better and not really try to put them out there and disgrace them like this and try to, cause them their job. Yeah, I'm really glad that everybody has really stuck up for this man, because it is a sad video.
Excuse me, do you mind if you just drop me off here?
Okay, so I'm usually problematic queen because I don't like to speak on shit. But like, first of all, this boiled my blood. Okay, why did it boil my blood? Because like, why are people in my generation just so fucking sensitive? Like, how the fuck are we supposed to live our lives? Like, people die every single fucking second of the day, and you're gonna worry about this guy asking what kind of Asian you are? If I had $1 for every Asian, they.
Get me wrong, my English is not as perfect.
Yeah.
TLDR of the video up here, pause to read. Great. Now, I think there's a very big difference with how people asked where you're from. And I think this woman is projecting perhaps an idea or an experience of a racist person onto this taxi driver. And I think it is different when different people ask you where you're from. And not necessarily white and brown people, but racist white people, non-racist white people, and brown people. Because what my experience with racist white people is that they'll go, where are you from? And you go, London. And they go, no, where are you really from? Implying that your answer is false, that you're not British, and that you're kind of telling a lie. Because when you say, no, I'm from London, they're like, not exactly, are you? Which implies that you're not really British. Whereas if someone just goes, what's your ethnic background, if you don't mind me asking? I'll share. I don't mind. Cool. And when there's an Asian or North African uncle who asks where you're from and their English isn't great, that's a different question. Because they're not saying you're not British, they're just curious to know where your ethnic background is, and they're really happy to know that and to share theirs. If they want to know where in the UK you live or where you grew up, they'll just say, where do you live? Where did you grow up? They won't suggest that that isn't invalid. I've played guessing games of ethnicity with like taxi drivers and stuff, because they're just happy to like understand and know more. And it's not a big deal for them like it might be with racist people. And on top of this, looks are so ambiguous. So they're not saying, okay, you're definitely Chinese, you look Chinese. They're just saying, oh, I thought you might be, or my girlfriend's Chinese, I was wondering if you're from a similar culture. It's not necessarily meant to be rude or offensive, they're just curious. I remember an international student from China told me, he was like, if you saw me, a Japanese and a Korean person together, you'd think we're all Chinese. And I was like, oh, you can't actually say that here, it's a little racist. And he goes, but it's true. And this idea that, you kind of look from a similar culture isn't necessarily meant to offend. I had this taxi driver once, and I was like, where are you from? And he's like, guess. And I was like, okay, are you from Central Asia? And he's like, yeah, because he looked, Turkic. And I'm like, okay, are you from Uzbekistan? He's like, no. I'm like, Kyrgyzstan? He's like, no. I'm like, Kazakhstan? He's like, no. I'm like, I don't know. Is it Muslim majority? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, Afghanistan? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, cool, you're Hazara. And he took no offense to it whatsoever. He was just like, nice, you got it, eventually, right? Because it's not meant to be offensive. I babbled on too long, you get the point.
So please feel free to share your opinion down in the comment section, because that's what we do here. We have conversations. So go ahead, share your thought down in the comment section. But please, please, please do it respectfully. You don't have to disrespect anybody for you to air your opinion and your thoughts. At the time recording this video, this TikToker has taken down our video. She took down this video because she was getting a lot of backlash, people saying that she was just trying to reach. She's a food content creator. She does food critics and all that, do restaurant review. So she has taken down this video. So here is my own thought about this. So clearly I totally agree with people that said that she was just reaching. And I posted a video a couple of weeks ago talking about how people of color cannot understand black people's racism, because what they see as racism is totally different from what we as black people see as racism. And this just clearly shows that point. We, like black people, has been saying for some time, like they should not categorize POC to black people. Our struggles are different. For me, I don't see anything wrong with what the taxi man asked, and I feel like she was just trying to flex her muscles. And even the fact that the man was apologizing and like, you know what, I'm sorry, that was not my intention. Just the same way they generalize Africans, they feel like all Africans are probably Nigerian or something. I don't see anything wrong from the man asking that, oh, what part exactly are you from Asian. Clearly he knew that they had a lot of other Asian countries, and clearly for me personally, they look alike, because I can't really differentiate them. Maybe a few of them I can differentiate the Koreans a little bit, but it's really hard, especially when you've not lived in that environment, you've not lived in Asia. It's really hard to differentiate the Chinese from the Koreans, from the Japanese. For me, it's hard. So for what, coming from somebody that is in Africa, and clearly I think that cab driver is from Africa, it's understandable he wants to ask, and he's asking so that he knows and be informed. But she just took it and the way she was even trying to like break down and cry about it, like, sis, you're just wishing. Is that what you see as racism? Like, for real? I understand, like, yes, sometimes we that are not from the culture, especially the Asian culture, we just generalize everybody as Chinese. But I don't see anything wrong with what this man said. He said, you look different. Some people sometimes tell me, like, oh, you don't look Nigerian, you don't sound Nigerian. Where are you? Like, it is what it is. So for me, for her to just reach, and she could just easily educate the man better and then continue her ride. It's not as if the man was physically harmful or endangered to her. So yeah, I just feel like she was reaching. Anyway guys, let me know your thought about this video down in the comment section. Please feel free to share your thoughts and share this video with somebody, because hey, that's what we do here. Please smash the like button, because that helps YouTube to push out my content, and that will be you supporting your girl. With that all said guys, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.